Welcome to the Mindset Mile podcast, the show that'll leave you empowered to take action towards becoming the turned up version of your already awesome self. I'm your host, Aisha Zaza, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's go. Hello, fam, and welcome back to the Mindset Mile podcast. Before I dive into today's topic, I want to let you know that for next week's episode, I'm going to do a Q&A. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and I'm really excited about it. So I want to hear your questions. They can be about absolutely anything. You can ask me a personal question. You can ask me about topics we've talked about on the show, business, motherhood, podcasting. Whatever it is you want to ask, I want to hear it. And I'm going to be addressing them all on next week's episode. So send me your questions either via Instagram DM, or you can shoot me an email at Aisha, that's AISHA, at themindsetmile.com. And I'm going to be recording all the questions I get over the next week for my very first podcast Q&A. So I can't wait to hear from you. So over the last few weeks, it feels like I've had some challenging parenting days. And I know that not everyone who listens to this podcast is a parent, but I know so many are. And I've been feeling compelled to speak about this because in many ways, parenting and being a mom can feel isolating. So I want you to feel comforted that the challenges you face and the things that you feel, you're not alone with them. So if you don't already know this, I was never a woman who felt ready to become a mom. It was never my life's dream. And though I had envisioned a family for later in life, I never had this burning desire to start trying for a family. And I think this is a feeling many women can relate to these days. And if that's you, then I want you to know there's nothing broken about you because you don't feel ready. And it doesn't mean you won't make a wonderful mom someday. That's a feeling I always had about not feeling ready. Like if I didn't want it super bad, then that would translate to the experience I had once I had a baby and I wouldn't be a great mom or something like that. And that's wrong. It's true what they say that you just shift into a gear you never knew you had. And let me tell you, if you share the same feelings I had, then I'm here to tell you that you will love being a mama more than you ever thought you could. It's truly the best. I used to hate when people said that parenting is the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it's the best thing you'll ever do. That drove me crazy because what in the world does that look like on a day-to-day basis? I was so curious to know what that feeling was before I felt the feeling in real life because I wanted to make sure that this was really what I wanted to sign up for. But now I get it. It really is the best thing in the world, but there are moments that just feel hard. My daughter is 21 months old, which is such a fun and busy age, but the toddler age comes with its challenges, as they all do. They aren't able to fully communicate yet, which is super frustrating, both for you and them. Can you imagine not being able to express how you're feeling or what you need, and the people around you can't figure it out or get upset with you for having bad feelings? Cue tantrums. And even knowing what we know about tantrums being completely normal, healthy, and just a toddler acting their age, we can have these moments of just really not liking having to be a part of it. It's one thing if they're in a bad mood, but when you're also having an off day, watch out. It is not a good combo. A couple weeks ago, my husband was working on a Sunday, which he normally has off. And it was a day that I just felt exhausted and like I did not want to parent, which of course turned out to be a particularly challenging day as my daughter was testing and protesting everything. I felt like I was on the verge of tears all day long. I was in my head saying all the negative things that amplified how I felt, like how this is just my life now, cleaning up after a kid all day, constantly being needed when all I wanted was some space. And that these are the days that people jokingly said not to have kids because it's a trap. Yeah, I felt that trap that day. And when we're in those days or those seasons, it feels like things will last forever. But you know, and I know what is true as a parent is that it does not last forever. I wish our hindsight could always be our foresight in those situations because it would make the tough days feel much more manageable. But isn't it true that when you go through a challenging season with your baby or your toddler or your kid, that the days feel long, but the weeks and months fly by? I remember when Shiloh went through a witching hour phase in the evenings when she was maybe like 4 to 6 weeks old, and she was just inconsolable, wouldn't eat anything, and everything just felt like such a struggle. It felt like it was never going to end. And then I'm not even sure how or when the transition happened, but she grew out of it, and I couldn't even remember when the last time was that it happened. Hey guys, my new sponsor, Get the Tea, is having their annual summer sale, which is perfect because it's just in time for Father's Day. Have you thought about what kind of gift you'd like to give your dad this year? Why not think about a gift that would help with his digestion? Life Change Tea is an amazing, gentle cleanse that he can use daily for gut health, and who doesn't need that? I know I do. I drink it every day. It comes in 3 different flavors: natural, peppermint, and pomegranate, and they're made with a combination of 12 herbs that help the digestive system and gut health. Life Change Tea has been around since 2007, helping thousands of people with their gut health. It's made right here in the USA. It's easy to brew and perfect to keep in your fridge to drink daily. It's summertime, and I love having a big, refreshing glass of iced tea. That's why I choose to drink Life Change Tea. Right now, they're having a big summer sale, which means when you buy 3, you get 1 free. Yes, buy 3 and get 1 free. Go to getthetea.com/Zaza to order yours today. And exclusively for my listeners, use code ZAZA10, that's ZAZA 10, to get an additional $10 off plus free shipping. That's over a $50 savings. So go to getthetea.com/Zaza and use code ZAZA10 for $10 off plus free shipping. Don't miss out. We're told to be prepared as parents, to be cognizant of our kids' firsts. Their first words, first smile, first laugh, first time they roll over, first time they crawl, first steps. But we're not warned to look out for their lasts, which can quite honestly feel much more bittersweet. Because without even realizing it, our babies outgrow a stage that there was so much to love about that happened to come with challenging things that we would feel would last forever. But it's a package deal. The things we adore and the things we feel challenged by pass at the same time. We can't give up one without giving the other, so we might as well lean into it all. And then we're on to the next phase, the next set of firsts, the next set of lasts, and before we know it, we're missing the days we once couldn't wait to pass. So I guess in my best attempt to put into my own words what parents meant when they said it's the most challenging thing but most rewarding thing they've ever done, if you were to look at a line graph of parenthood and you zoomed in really close without seeing the overall picture, there would be some pretty steep dips in a downward trend that looked like, whoa, like that's a plummet, right? Those would represent the challenging moments. But if you were to zoom out and look at the graph as a whole, you'd see that overall, the line was always moving in an upward trend. And that's what makes it the best, most fulfilling, heart-expanding work. We all have these downward trends in our graphs. We all have days where we question if we were made for this or if we're doing a good job. And I want to affirm you today that you are not a bad parent for needing space from your kids and your family from time to time. You're not selfish if you take an hour a day to do something for yourself and to fill your own cup. You are still a good parent if you don't love every moment, if they've had too much screen time, if you miss your old life sometimes. You're still a good parent if you spend time on your phone, if you don't have much one-on-one time one day with your kids, or if you lose your cool sometimes. Being a parent is so much more than raising kids. I saw something on Instagram once that talked about the invisible load of motherhood. It listed acting as the family timekeeper, packing school and work lunches, motivating your kids to help with chores or to do their homework, rotating clothes, shoes, and toys that have been outgrown, preparing meals for everyone, keeping the household clean and organized, scheduling appointments, taking care of the animals. Now, trust me, I know dads and partners have a lot of responsibilities that might look different, and it's not to say that the load isn't shared. But I wanted to share that example of the meme I saw because I think we often feel like we can always be getting more done or aren't doing enough, when really we don't give ourselves enough credit for the invisible load. Those things might not make the to-do list because they're habitual and ongoing, but it sure as hell does not mean that they aren't things getting taken care of on top of everything else there is to do. So from one parent to another, I just want to say, I see you. I empathize with you. I'm happy with you. I love it with you. I sometimes miss the simplicity of life before kids with you. You can let go of whatever guilt it is that you feel. Be proud of yourself for all you do, even on the days it doesn't feel like you're doing enough. Enough is arbitrary. There is no measuring stick for it. So let that go and just lean into the season you're in, because before you know it, you'll be on to the next without even realizing it. You're doing an amazing job, and don't you forget it. Thank you for spending this time with me. I can't wait to see you next week and answer all your questions. And until then, make it a great day.